As a deeply religious person, meaning that I've always had a yearning, a heart's desire to know the truth, and the truth is hidden from the wise and the foolish and the prudent. The truth is what is known as esoteric teachings. They're not easily explained. And so I had to step aside from conventional religious groups, which are actual, cults, and have nothing really whatsoever to do with the esoteric teachings of the masters, of the enlightened people. Jesus did teach the esoteric teachings to a group of people known as the disciples or the apostles. But the church that he hoped to establish didn't establish itself, because esoteric teachings are all about being on your own with God, realizing what God is, rather than who God is. At this time of the year, with Christmas, it implies that everyone who celebrates Christmas, it implies that everyone is therefore celebrating the birth of Christ. But surely that's not the case, as can be seen. And if we are to celebrate the birth of Christ, irrespective of whether we're a Christian or not, then we are celebrating this esoteric teaching that what we are is truly light or energy. So that's what we are celebrating, the light breaking through the darkness. I have a lovely analogy of what darkness and light can be indicated by. Darkness indicated by the clenched fist, where one is wrapped up all the time in one's own little world, unrelational, not really living a happy, ecstatic life of joy, intimacy, delight, which is what I believe Christ came into the world to teach. And the open hand representing light, relational, intimacy, joy and delight. Now look at that, isn't that not good? Yeah. Clenched fist living, me against you, mine against yours. This is mine. Once you've really understood the teachings, the esoteric teachings, the hidden teachings, you realize rather than believe. The exoteric teachings that are generally believed in are public. They're believed by thousands and millions of people, not just at this present time, but over centuries. And only a few people have realized the esoteric teachings, the hidden teachings within the body-mind that are revealed by those who are serious enough to wish to understand and live as what I call the heart. So there's no competition once you've realized God, the light. There's no war. There's no argy-bargying all the time. There's no mine and yours. But that's not to say we're going to be irresponsible. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is this festival of Christmas shouldn't really be called Christmas. Let's face it, as I said earlier, it implies that you are a Christian when you celebrate Christmas. Because Christmas is a Christian festival. And it's the act of celebrating the birth of the Christian's guru, spiritual master, teacher. So I reckon at this time of the year, because we all love giving, don't we, at this time of the year, and celebrating and feasting, I think this name, Christmas, should be changed to the festival of gift giving. I did write a few years ago something about what I consider we should consider. So I'll read it. Dear friend, sharing a perspective on the name Christmas for you to ponder. This is the time of year that Christians celebrate the birth of their Saviour, Jesus Christ. One of the main teachings of Christ was to break down barriers between nations, cultures, families, people in general. However, looking around us, not even having to look globally, much of the world is divided, even amongst ourselves, within our own families. There is much division. So I wonder to myself, and I am certain that thousands of people wonder too, did Jesus fail? This is the time of year that millions and millions of people buy gifts to give to their family and friends. Thus, it is very much a universal time of gifting, a time of gifting by all and all, whether the person is religious or not. I do love to give gifts myself. This very act, an act of love and generosity, is a gesture of unity, an act of breaking down barriers. However, in considering the name Christmas, it is very much associated with the religion Christianity, and not any other religion, referring to their guru, Jesus Christ. But it is obvious that it is embraced by all religions, for all members of all religious faiths give gifts. However, as with Christianity, all religions have their unique celebrations, peculiar to their own doctrines and faith. Considering this fact, that all peoples of all religions and faiths, and non-religious people, not belonging to any particular faith, give gifts to one another, and not necessarily having any real adherence to the Christian faith per se. I personally feel that this festive season should be renamed so that the name embraces all and all, embracing the entire world population. I would like the season to be known as a worldwide festival of gift giving, thus taking away any religious reference. Thus, this label would be embracing all peoples, no matter what their background. As I write this, I can hear the objections of Christians, understandably, for all Christians have human tendencies, like the rest of the non-Christian population. However, I believe by taking away the very general term Christmas, Christians can make their own celebrations of the birth of their guru and master, and more special, making it far more special, thus having a greater and personal meaning, a far more profound and heartfelt meaning, a meaning that is not, possibly unintentionally, denigrated by non-Christians worldwide. Celebrating their Master Jesus Christ should be done with great reverence and meaning, as all celebrations are done pertaining to all religions. How can such heartfelt reverence be enacted by millions of non-Christians? In fact, Christmas, as it is known by billions of people, has become a mockery of its true religious intentions. Being thus a special occasion, Christians would then invite non-Christians to celebrate with them in their places of worship, thus making Christmas, the Christian festival, far more meaningful and special. As I said, I am not a formally practicing Christian, though I love the esoteric teachings of Jesus. I do love to participate in Christian celebrations, as I like to participate in all religious celebrations, because basically we are celebrating this one fact, that the light must come into our lives. What I do practice throughout the day and every day is Holy Communion, or Divine Communion. The Sanskrit word being satsang, S-A-T-S-A-N-G-S, which you might like to look up. Without going into any great detail, as a young person, both in childhood and adulthood, I would question what Jesus really meant by such instructions. Look at the birds. Do they worry? Where they live and where they find their food? Why live an anxious life? And how to live accordingly? Yes, I have done enough anxiety and concern during my lifetime. I look around at this time of the year and see just how much anxiety there is amongst all the people. It is rife. And there we are, as a celebrant of this festival of giving, whether Christian or not, meant to be celebrating the light that came into the world as Jesus Christ, the one who instructed his followers not to be anxious. What craziness! Yes, you can see I celebrate Christmas. I've got my Christmas tree up and all the baubles. But I'm not a formally practicing Christian. So therefore, as with thousands and millions and billions over time, non-Christians celebrating this time of the year, the festival ought to be changed to a non-religious name. As I said, possibly calling it the Festival of Gift Giving. What are your thoughts? Whatever they may be, Christ came into the world apparently 2,000 years ago as a person like you and me, but he realized something greater than was on offer to the general people, populace. And he basically said that he had realized the light and that he was the light. And he said, don't believe in me, but realize that you too are the light. Realize this fact, that every human being should be living, or could be living, like an open hand. And as I said, it's a graceful happening done in divine communion. And for me, Adidar Samraj is that agency to the divine in my life. He established what is known as the way of the heart. You see, everyone is in their minds. All this chit-chat going on, all that nonsense going on in the head. You need to drop out of that into the heart. And in divine communion, we are reconnected to real God, which is the light. He called it the brightness, which is love, joy, delight, already happiness and already intimacy. Is the end of all seeking. And in that place, one acts responsibly and intelligently in a mature manner amongst one's fellow people. There is no division from this place. It has to be realized. You have to stand on your own. It's not a lonely occupation, but you are alone with God. You no longer are self-possessed, but actually God-possessed. So I wish you all the happiness and love that we truly are. It's a disposition, an actual disposition, which comes about because you've got this heart desire to live a life of God communion, God understanding. Real God is a dispenser.